Good morning, everyone. Just a couple of housekeeping things before we start. If I could just ask everybody to put their mobile phones, etc., either to off or onto silent, please, during the next session. We'd also be very grateful if you could fill in all the feedback forms at the end of each session, just so we have some input for next year's agendas. Also, copies of all the presentations over the 2 days will be made available on the conference website by early tomorrow morning, so they'll all be available for download should you need any of the information. So, without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Jason Schaffer, who's the Senior Director of Storage Development at Oracle. Jason's going to talk to us about integration and the evolving IT data center. So, Jason.
Thank you. I'm going to try to jump. I'm getting too old for that. Hi, good morning. I've got a lot of slides here. What I'm going to do is go through, and I thought I'd share two things. One is, what is Oracle's strategy around the evolution of IT and where Oracle is focused overall. Forget storage for a moment. And then I'll come in and tell you about what we're doing in the storage side that I think is fundamental and uniquely different than what everybody else is doing. And at that point, hopefully I've got time to answer questions. If you have any questions, or if you don't understand what I'm saying, just let me know. All right, I can go in any depth you want to talk about. I do represent Oracle Storage. I'm a senior director in Oracle Engineering, so I can talk to any depth you want about our strategy, our technology, our roadmaps. Whatever you want to talk about, I can talk about today. Okay? I thought I'd start with a simple point, and this will seem like an interesting concept, but it really drives everything that we're doing at Oracle. Right? We recently took a look, about 4 years ago, we took a look at the marketplace, and we looked at overall what's happening in the consumer space. We've got, in storage, 287 top consumers drive about 87% of all storage spend. We looked at who the top consumers were. If you looked at the Fortune 100, many of the consumers of the storage devices 20 years ago are not going to be in the Fortune 100 20 years later. A lot of consumers, a lot of the Fortune 100 companies fall out of the Fortune 100. Right? In fact, you look at only 30% stay in the Fortune 100 after just 20 years. We went out and we polled all the top IT administrators that we knew. We asked them what drove it. What was the number one factor in them staying in or falling out of the Fortune 100? Why would they leave the Fortune 100? And it came down to innovation. Majority of CIOs in the marketplace that we talked to, that we surveyed, would tell you that innovation is what drove their ability to stay in the Fortune 100. The number one factor was innovation. What was interesting about it is of the customers we surveyed, 71% said that it was the number one factor. Right? However, of those customers, majority said, 70-90% said they don't use IT to its potential. They're not innovating. I'm going to give you a clear set. This is an interesting one that we use in the U.S. a lot. One of our biggest customers. You look at this. Oracle's annual IT budget is about $4.5 billion. Oracle overall spends $4.5 billion a year designing and deploying new technology. Software, databases, hardware, you name it. Right? IBM's annual R&D spends about $6.2 billion. Right? How much money they spend every year designing and deploying new technologies across their entire stack, IBM. My favorite competitor, NetApp, they spend money too, $800 million a year in R&D spend. If you look at that combined is less than a single major U.S. bank spends in R&D in the IT side every year. A single U.S. bank spends more in IT, R&D, than IBM, Oracle, and NetApp combined. Right? This stat alone, is staggering when you consider the amount of innovation that each company, each vendor puts into their product lines. And this is the reason. Imagine buying a car. Right? The way IT buyers buy today is they buy every bit independently. Right? First thing you do is you buy the best components, then you do custom assembly. We did a survey in Asia-Pac about 6 months ago and found that over 60% of the spend was just in the assembly of the kit, not in the kit itself. That leaves IT fragmentation. Each independent island, not only IT, but also the applications that feed it. Independent IT application consolidation isn't happening. And finally, application silos. Right? We just heard from another vendor talking about big data. One key thing we're finding in Oracle is that a lot of our applications are still siloed. We're not getting the best out of our multi-application analytical ability. Application silos are a big factor. And so when you think about it, how much is complexity costing you and your organizations? At the end of the day, complexity is costing a whole bunch. It's costing the U.S. bank I mentioned more than 60% of their spend is just with complexity, not focused on innovation. And so what drives it, right? What drives up complexity? In general, complexity means less innovation. And it's not just complexity internally. There's also external complexities. Big data, mobile computing, evolution of workers themselves, and cloud silos are all driving complexity. It's not getting less complex. Right? So first, some stats here on big data. Companies collect 2 times more data each year than they can store. Oracle itself, we have our own big data. We have over 76 petabytes of storage. NAS storage feeding NFS to Oracle database environments. 76 petabytes just to manage big data across our environments. And it's growing radically. We're growing at about 12 petabytes a quarter, just internally using NAS consumption. Right. Mobile computing, 90% of companies will support corporate application on personal devices. This is a big deal for Oracle. We have, across our board, we support over 400,000 input devices to Oracle internal systems today. Our IT managers at Oracle, for 118,000 people, support over 400,000 input devices to our applications and storage devices today. A lot of input. Next one is the evolution of the worker. The worker today is getting much more complex. In fact, I read an article in the Harvard Business Review 2 weeks ago that talked about the knowledge is incredibly important, especially in manufacturing. They have knowledge skills. We, in fact, looked at a key manufacturing area that we recently moved from one group to the other. And just in manufacturing efficiencies and intelligence, we were able to save $125 million in the last year by having more knowledgeable workers. So the workers themselves are getting more knowledgeable, and it's helping. And finally, cloud silos. 75% of large enterprise clouds say they have 5 integration touch points. Only 4% of the customers we surveyed believe that their clouds are fully integrated. Right? Clouds, in fact, are driving a lot more complexity. And each one of these things is bringing down innovation. Each one of these things is making it harder and harder for you guys to innovate, to stay in the Fortune 100. Right? So our system, our strategy is real simple. We believe by engineering the entire stack to work better together, we can drive much, much greater efficiencies and allow you to focus more on the innovation that drives your business, not the IT to sustain it. That's our number one strategy. We've been doing this for a lot of years. So we found an integrated stack, engineered together, tested together, certified together, upgraded together. Upgrade's an interesting one, having the entire stack upgraded, maintained, patched as a uniform stack. Added it all up, we found that our integrated systems, our engineered systems, are 10 times faster than not, are 50 times more efficient, have much better security, and offer unparalleled reliability and support. Our engineered systems today have a platinum service that allows for 4-minute response times, 15 minutes to an engineer. High level of support and reliability for an engineered system, and it's much more efficient. Right? Some examples, Exadata, Exalogic, Spark Supercluster, all great examples of Oracle's engineered systems. And we believe, quite honestly, by providing a car, a system tailored to a specific environment, tuned to your application environment, you get much higher performance and much better efficiencies. And you'll be able to stay focused on things that drive your innovation, that allow you to grow your business. So IT that works fuels innovation. It's a real simple strategy, and it's working. At Oracle, this business has grown substantially year over year. I'm going to share with you one more thing that I think is important. Our go-to-market, the way we deliver engineered systems is twofold. First, we have engineered systems, Exadata, Exalogic, Spark Supercluster, systems designed for specific business environments. We also have products that are optimized for those environments. Right? My job in engineering is to work on the products that are optimized for your Oracle environments. I'm going to give you a couple examples. In engineering, our storage runs our software fastest and most efficiently. If you're an Oracle software customer and you're not running an Oracle storage, you're running in a degraded mode. Your database is not as high performance. It's not as efficient. You're running in a degraded mode. And I'll give you two examples. First one's an example called hybrid columnar compression. Hybrid columnar compression is a feature that's only available if you plug in Oracle storage, Oracle disk storage, behind an Oracle database environment. On average, our customers, this is actually an example of a telco here in EMEA. Telco has 7 petabytes of NetApp, 13 petabytes of EMC, and they're able to compress that entire environment down to 1 petabyte of storage in ZFS storage. Not only were they able to compress that environment, but they were able to actually take and increase their query speeds by up to 5x. So on average, about a 21x compression of your Oracle database and a 5x improvement in query speeds. Only because you're switching to ZFS storage instead of NetApp. All right? That's example one. We have 16 other examples where we're engineering our software to run fastest and most efficiently on our storage. And that's a change you don't see a lot here. I'll tell you that if you look forward 5, 6 years, if you're not using Oracle storage for Oracle software, you're making a big mistake. It's going to be much slower, much less efficient. Another example is this. A couple weeks ago, we introduced a new protocol called Oracle Intelligent Storage Protocol. What we did was we took analytics, big data, and we monitored for the customers, our database customers, for about 1.5 years. Since the Oracle acquisition, we've been monitoring our database customers. And we found that by tuning certain variables in the storage system, we're able to cut 65% of the tuning required to optimize database performance. So in our next version of the database, version 12c, it comes natively with OISP that provides hints to Oracle NAS systems. And the Oracle NAS system will automatically tune itself for a database environment. And conversely, the database will be tuned by the storage system. Right? The first intelligent communication between the storage system and the database. And this is just number 2. We've got 16 other things we're working on in the next 2 years to further engineer our storage to run fastest with our databases and with our application stack. All right? I expect every vendor to go this direction. EMC if VMware, Oracle storage with Oracle software. All right. So that's it. That's what I wanted to cover. First one is successful businesses innovate. We believe that in order to innovate, you can't do so without using an engineered system, without engineering the software and the hardware to work best together. And the last one, expect your storage vendors to get much more intelligent about how they interface with the application. Certification alone is no longer enough. If it's not engineered to optimize for a given application environment, it's not going to run optimally. It's going to be running in a suboptimal condition, either less performance or less efficient. All right, so I want to give time for Q&A. Hopefully this made sense. Those that don't know, Oracle Storage, we've come a long way. We're now the number 3 vendor in the world. We just surpassed IBM for NAS. All right, so we are taking sizable share across the world. Any questions? Any questions? It's hard to see out there. I went kind of fast. No questions? Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. I just want to reiterate, Oracle's entire strategy is to engineer systems that work fastest and most efficiently. If you're running Oracle storage and if you're running Oracle software without our storage, you're running in a suboptimal environment. That's my primary message. Okay. Any questions about technology, features? Yeah, anything? So the question's about the merger. How has it happened and how has it affected not only our technology but our differentiation, what we provide customers? It's been very, very successful. The first thing that you'll notice with us is we've started to engineer our hardware, our storage, to work best on our software. And so you see it across the board. Some things that happened right away were tuning the database such that it performed optimally with Oracle storage. So hybrid columnar compression is a great example. It was a feature that we had nested in the database, but we only activate if you tied to Oracle storage. Further developments we have on the chip, our next generation of Spark processors, have other embedded database functionality. So we're doing more and more to integrate the two things. The other thing that's been amazing for us, and we don't talk about it at all, but Oracle used to be a very, very big NetApp and EMC shop. Our IT, Oracle IT, ran on NetApp and EMC. In fact, NetApp and EMC used Oracle IT as a kind of a reference customer in a lot of their enterprise selling environments. In the last 18 months, we've switched it all from NetApp and EMC over to ZFS storage, our own NAS. We have now over 160 petabytes of ZFS storage, NFS, predominantly running Oracle database environments. Oracle is the second largest cloud vendor in the world. We don't talk about that very often, but we're the second largest cloud vendor in the world. We run on average 3.2 billion database transactions an hour, which is more than Amazon and eBay combined, right? 3.2 billion database transactions an hour, all running our database, all running on ZFS storage. So we've come a long way. So having Oracle as a pretty decent size company to install and use our storage products, we're also a long way forward. We have well over 700 filers in our environments, and they're getting upgraded, and they run 100% 24/7 with 3 full backups a week. So really good test, really good benchmarking and hardening of our technology. So it's going well. Good question, though. Any other questions about our technology? What's working? I'll tell you one thing, since we have extra time. One thing that's interesting, I don't know if you see it here, but a lot of customers I talk to are making a transition from high-performance SAN to high-performance NAS. A lot of customers. And there's two areas they're going. One is straight SAN to NAS conversion. The other one is they're going to, a lot of them are going to Exadata as a high performance with ZFS or NAS behind it for backup. That's a very common architecture, right? Other changes I see is a unified storage. Unified storage about 3 years ago was was not a joke, but it was more of a vendor benefit than a customer benefit. Today, 78% of ZFS storage appliances have a block and file running simultaneously. Mostly it's iSCSI to Windows environments and NFS to file share or backup environments. It's a fairly common architectural deployment, and you didn't see that 2-3 years ago. A lot of that has to do with people moving from VMware, for example, trusting VMware in non-fiber channel environments. More and more NFS on VMware is predominant, and VMware is showing more and more Oracle environments. Any other technology questions? Any? Okay. Well, you guys, thank you very much for your time. I didn't mean to keep it short, but hopefully you enjoyed the time. Thank you.